What's up, man? It's a standout podcast where everyone and anyone could be a standout. In my third episode, oh man, I got somebody here by the name of 50 Chris. Y'all might know him. He be outside. And listen, man, I've watched this kid grow, literally, from a remix with my boy Lil Machi, who cultivated me in this game. He brought me in this game. To watching his little brother get on that remix, tear it up, cultivate his own fan base, and now he's on his own. Listen, 50, it's a pleasure to have you in here, man.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, man. You know, feel me?
It's you know, watching you work, man, it's really been nothing but like, damn, this kid is really doing it now. Like, he's in the mix, he's going up. The songs are crazy, from Don't Want to Leave Me to, you know, the one with Peso Dollars. I forgot the name. I'm sorry. Yeah. But, you know, you going up. You and LV Flex got a show coming up.
Flex, man. That's my guy right there.
Tell me about this tidal wave you on, man. Like, how does this feel right now?
Man, you know, for those who don't know, I've been wanting to do this music for a grip now.
Right.
You know, it really started with you know, RP my boy Jalen, man.
Right.
Jalen, you know, he unfortunately he passed when we was kids. We was 15. He was 15 years old when he passed. He was heavy on the music. Back in middle school, we had a little group called Lifestyle Expo.
Okay.
And it was like we would bang on the table, freestyle. We would do a little dance groups, you know, back in the jerking days.
Okay.
So you know, he really, you know, like brought the idea of music
to you.
You know, it's messed up. You know, we actually were supposed to do a song together. Speaking of Lil Machi, shout out Lil Machi, big bro.
Right.
He made the beat. I have the beat still on my phone and everything. And like a week or so after he passed. And that's where I was just like, man, I just didn't even care about music no more.
Right.
And but man, now it's like, you know, one of my biggest things was, you know, they say you're your biggest hater.
Right,
like,
of course.
You're your biggest critic.
Right.
And like, you know, someone like me, like I dealt with a lot of, you know, issues mentally and emotionally. I've dealt with my depression, my anxiety, and my self-doubt. One of my biggest flaws is I don't have a lot of what's the word, like,
Is it not confidence? Because well,
at a time I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself with just a lot of things. And one of my biggest things is, you know, everybody knows, like, yo, Chris got a deep ass voice. Like, he look little as hell.
Right.
He look like he 12, but that means sound like he 40. Like everybody. And one of my biggest things is like, bro, I would never sound the way I want to sound. And one of the, like, I ain't gonna lie, bro, it brings tears to my eyes that, like, I finally hear, like, I hear the sound I've always wanted to hear.
Right.
So,
I mean, to me, bro, it was emotional watching you work for the first time in my studio, because I saw the importance in your eyes. Yeah. This wasn't a game to you.
Nah.
This was more than, this is like, yo, I want to do this. Mm-hmm. Like, this is something I want to do. This is something I really dream of. So, you know, you're talking about the level of confidence. Mm-hmm. You know, talk to me about even just finally being able to head to the studio by yourself and get in there knowing all that stuff.
You know, it come to a time, you know, one of my biggest things was, one of the biggest things I learned when I was younger, stepping out, you know, as a teenager, I had a really bad anxiety. I had really bad, like, I was not sociable at all. Even now, I'm still working on that.
Right.
You know, some people they say I'm a little intimidating sometimes. Right. And I don't do that on purpose. I'm not a sociable person. I'm still kind of learning.
Me either.
Yeah, you feel me? But really, you just got to step out your comfort zone. Yeah. You have to. Yeah. It's like, it's as simple as that. It don't sound as simple when you really thinking about it, like, damn, I really got to do that. Like, you're just sitting there.
Yeah.
You start getting thirsty.
Yeah.
Mouth
the palms start sweating.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Like, but, you know, that's where it starts. You got to step out your comfort zone, and then you got to learn how to get comfortable again.
Right. So let's take it back. So when you record that first song, you're really stepping out your comfort zone. You don't want to do this.
You're
know what I'm
talking
saying?
about
With
Machi?
Machi, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to do this.
You know what's crazy? That whole thing started. Machi dropped that album.
Right.
I forgot what album that was on. But
I'm trying to think back too,
was
because
it Born Hustler?
I think so.
Born
That was the one. Well, because he has a few with him on
Yeah.
it, but that was the one where he was tilted with his tattoo.
So, I believe I might be wrong.
Yeah.
He had the song "We Thuggin'." I'm in the shower,
Yeah.
just bumping this shit. The song come, I'm like,
Right.
oh, this shit got- I'm like,
He has a lot of those.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
like-
put that out there.
yeah, you know, like, cause you know, Machi, he more of like, his music is like real.
It's pain music.
It's pain music. So when
Yeah.
he came out with some shit called "We Thuggin'," I heard that shit,
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, bro. I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. Literally, I'm in the shower.
Right,
I grab
in the
my
shower
phone. I'm
playing
like, yo,
Yeah.
I was
start
planning.
thinking.
I was already gonna go down there.
Right.
Because my parents live in Florida.
Right.
He
of
lived
course.
in the neighboring state of Georgia.
Right.
So I was like, yo, when I go down there, I want to hop on this. I was like, yo, I want to hop on this. This is hard, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and he sent me the instrumental without the second verse, his second verse. And
Right.
let me tell you, I was practicing every single day.
Single day.
And when it finally came to the time, you know, it's crazy. You know, when I was practicing and whatnot, what I had practiced and what actually happened, it's
Right.
completely different.
Totally
and that
different.
always happens.
And when you're in the studio, man, I feel like sometimes everything just kind of goes out the window.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
whatever you had said, when I recorded What You Mean Though, right? What You Mean Though is like my most popular song.
Yeah.
That song was written for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even, when I stepped to the mic, I'm like, yo, how the hell do I even rap this shit? Like, how do I even put the bass in my
Yeah.
voice? Like, cause it's from a standpoint of a hustler. Listen, I did my things to survive.
Yeah.
I ain't like the dude that the song was for. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
step in there, you like, what you, and you're like, oh, I could do this. I can do this. I got it. So I definitely feel that, man. Like being in that moment, you're like, okay, I prep for this. I prep for this. I prep for this.
Yeah.
You get on the mic, it's like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, one of the biggest things, you know, it's crazy when we did that song, Machi had modified it a little bit.
Right, right.
You hear the original and the remix, chorus is way different. Everything's
Totally different thing. Yeah.
Even the way it starts, everything's different. So I remember he was up early in the morning and he was like, yeah, I changed it. So we just need your part, bro. I took a whole day and I still didn't even record out one thing.
That's dedication though. To
You
prep.
feel me? And
Yeah.
I was up, bro. I kid you not. Machi had went to sleep. I'm in the
Sheesh.
studio just like, man, bro, what am I gonna say? It's like 3 a.m.
Oh man.
So like, you know, it's crazy. Like one of my biggest things, I knew what I was gonna say in the middle of the song. I already had it.
Right.
When I said, she wanna fuck with a thug.
Right,
She said
right,
she
right.
can't get enough.
Right.
love.
Okay.
That shit, I was like, yeah, that shit sound hard right here, but
Right.
how the fuck do I start it?
And this is what
Like-
everybody says about rapping. This is
Yeah,
the hard
like-
part. What do I say?
Like, how do
Yeah.
I even start it?
Right.
Like, that was like my biggest thing. I was like, yo, how do I even start it? Because
Right.
here's another thing. I really don't like writing.
That's what I was gonna get to about you.
Mhm.
That made me interested is when you came to the studio and you say, yo, I don't really like studios. Like, I ain't into all that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I turn the mic on. I'm like, okay, he gonna pull his phone out. Like, that's generic.
Yeah.
And then you just say, nah, press record.
And
And then you started going and I'm like, oh shit, he don't even write. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God. And the song was, and the pain, everything in you and Don't Want to Leave Me was so, it was so like in depth. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how the hell is he doing that?
You know what's crazy? And I remember when we did that,
Right.
I remember at first I couldn't figure out which beat I wanted to do.
Right.
So, you know what's crazy? The beat that we ended up choosing for Leave Me Freestyle,
Right.
it wasn't a beat that I was like, you know, it's a cool beat. And I'm
Right.
like, I don't know if I could really rap on this. So we put it, and you know, it's crazy. That song was if you ever heard the song by YNW Melly Gang,
Oh yeah. Okay.
it was kind of like that was a heavy influence. Like,
okay.
because that's what I was listening to at the time.
Right.
So, you know, it was a heavy influence on that. And, you know, when you played that beat, I was like, you know what, I got something. Yo,
Right. And it was funny because it was like, you were sitting there for a long time and I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, he gonna come with something. And then you said, I press record. And it was just like rapid fire green light. Like it was like you did the whole song in like 5 minutes. And I was like, holy shit. He went into a different zone. So tell me about that. You have this anxiety, you have this stuff, you don't want to rap. But what is it like for you to get in that zone? Like in the stew?
You know, I learned how to turn my anxiety into momentum.
Right. Okay.
You feel me? You gotta transfer that energy into momentum.
Right.
And once you get the momentum, it's like you can't be stopped.
Yeah, you can't be stopped.
You know, like once that, you know, especially that day, it's crazy because like, you know, I was also under pressure too because I don't know if you remember, I had to go pick my mama from work.
Yes.
So I'm like, yo, I gotta hurry up and do this shit. Like, I really gotta hurry up and do this shit.
Yeah.
So when I was like, you know, fuck it, I don't want to go, but I gotta go one day. I just kept going.
And let me tell everybody that's watching this, when he belted that shit out, I stopped the recording at first because I was like, this hook is crazy. Like, and he just belted it. Like, it just came from out of nowhere. And I'm pressing the record and I'm going, you know, for all my engineers out there, they'll know, you got to stop reset button. So I kept recording, stop reset. He was waiting, stop reset, stop reset. After like 2 minutes, the whole freestyle went. And I'm like, oh shit. And I was like, he just recorded the whole song at that time. I'm like, yo, stop. We gotta punch here. We gotta punch here. We gotta punch here. Like, wait a minute. Like, and he just kept going and going and going. And that's the crazy thing about music too, man. Like, and let me be honest, is this now like a medium for you that you found music? Like, has this been like something very more therapeutic for you?
Let
like,
me tell you something. There ain't a moment in my day, and there's not a second where I don't involve music somehow, some type of way. Okay. If I'm not in the studio, if I'm not somewhere I can actually record, I got my AirPods in, listening to hella instrumentals. Bro, let me tell you something. I got one just folder in YouTube with like 1,000 instrumentals.
Holy shit.
Like different types, like anything from Juice WRLD type beats to Lil Baby type beat, like everything. And I practice on every single one. Not every single one, but I practice on a lot of them, bro. But I sit there and
talk to me about that though, because that to me seems like you really are like trying to prepare for this shit. Like you.
Yeah, you know, one of the biggest things is I feel like it's never too late, but I feel like I came to the game late. That's how I feel. You know, it might not, you know, it might be a messed up way to see it, but look at it, but that's how I feel. Right. And I feel like I gotta play catch up.
Right.
So, and that's another thing, like a lot of people like, you know, I don't really have a lot of music out.
Right.
The reason is I gotta perfect my craft, bro. I gotta make sure my shit sounds straight. It sounds good to me.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm not gonna release something I think it's subpar. Like, it's just not gonna happen.
And tell me how many of those rough drafts you go through, because you're saying thousands of beats. I could only imagine how much songs you got in that hard drive.
Let me tell you something, bro. My notes on my iPhone has at least like 20 songs unreleased.
Holy shit.
And honestly, I don't like none of them. I'm not even gonna say, it's like probably like 2 or 3 of them that I like. And that was because, you know, that's features from Peso and Flex. You know, shout out to them. That's actually coming.
I'm gonna get to them in a second. But
yeah, man, like I said, I'm trying to just perfect my craft. So that way when I do want to just go in the studio and record, I don't gotta do nothing. I could just record. I wait for it to get mixed and mastered and released.
Right. Let me ask you this. You know, seeing that this has been such a thing for you, and you have such this way of prepping and this way of preparation, where does this come from? Like, I know you have your friend that passed. That's definitely something. But is this something like from your parents that you saw? Like,
listen, a lot of people don't know this.
Right.
My dad was you know, I'm Puerto Rican.
Right, of course.
We heavy on a merengue.
Right.
And when he was a merenguero.
Okay.
Big,
okay.
You could search him up.
Wow.
Doble Bombazo. You could search him up.
Okay.
He's on like he's on Pandora.
So the music has always been in you.
Bro, let me tell you, growing up, like my dad is my biggest inspiration, bro.
Okay.
Not even just from music, the way I dress and everything. And bro, like when he was my age, he had blonde hair. Like, you feel me? Like everything like comes from him. So, music and everything, singing. It comes. I watched my dad perform. I watched my dad in studios, and
wow.
I used to go to my, you know, as a kid, he used to do his little gigs. And I used to go with him to set up the speakers and.
Oh my goodness.
So 12 a.m. I was with my dad right next to him, setting up bongos and guitars and
Right.
So my dad was my biggest inspiration to this music.
And that's the thing that's always gets me about musicians that are successful like yourself, is that you always see that they either had somebody in music or they had an inspiration that they just kept on following.
Yeah.
So speak about that, your dad being that, like, what has he taught you about the music? Like, has he told you anything? Has he tried to help you in any way? Like, what has that been?
Every time, it don't matter what I record. If I record something,
yeah,
whether I like it or not, I send it to him.
Okay.
I always send it to him. And he, I was with my dad in Christmas. He's in Florida.
Right.
So I was with him, and he was telling me, he was like, yo, like, whatever you do, you just gotta be the best. You gotta do the best you can. And one thing he always puts in my mind, he was like, yo, don't get stuck on just doing one thing.
Yeah, man.
Do everything. And that's the biggest thing. Like, look, I don't want to be a rapper. I want to be a musician.
Yes.
I want to I don't want to just I want to produce beats. That's another thing. I
was gonna ask you about that too, because when we were at the studio, you were really looking over. It was the first time I ever had a rapper come to my studio. I'll be honest with you, and looking over my shoulder and really trying to understand every module that was going into their song.
Yeah.
You didn't, and this is why I wanted to do the interview, because it impressed me in a way, because a lot of rappers, they know what they are, right? They know they can write, they know they can rap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But with you, it was like, well, is this EQ matching with this subwoofer? Is this matching with that? And I found that interesting. Now knowing that your father is a musician, is that element of perfection for you just because you've always heard the music? Like, is that what it is? Like, what it sounds like to be good?
Like let me tell you something. When you're around when you hear how music is actually made,
right?
Let me tell you something. Like, you're gonna hear music differently.
Yeah.
From anybody. It don't matter. Like, you're gonna hear, like, when you actually sat there and you really seen how music is actually made from scratch.
And that was what was interesting.
Yeah.
Like, it was very interesting to me hearing you, because right, when you're dealing with a rapper, they know about auto-tune, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, put this in this key, put this in that key. And you're coming back to me, you're saying, yo, the drum is reverbing off my voice this way, and when it hits the acoustics in the car, it's coming back that way. And I sat there for a minute. I'm like, this motherfucker knows more than I do. I'm engineering the fucking song. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it interested me. So that's definitely interesting, bro, that you can hear music that way. You could do that music that way. I didn't know half this stuff about you. And like, right when I took the interview, I was like, we're probably going to talk about the songs and stuff. So it's interesting now that you know a lot more about music theory and stuff. Do you feel like that puts you at a way better advantage than any rapper?
I feel like in some ways, yeah.
Some ways?
In some ways I could see, yeah. Because at the end of the day, rap is rap, bro.
Right.
At the end of the day,
right.
Rap is rap. But it takes somebody to really make a rock song.
Yes.
Pop music.
Right.
As a genre I really love is techno music. Like 90s trance techno music.
Yes.
Like, I would love to make actual trance techno music.
Because I think people just don't realize that, right? This is a rap-based podcast / culture podcast.
Yeah.
But what people don't realize about rap music is it's a beat, it's an engineer, it's a rapper.
That's it.
When you go into a studio, like, shout out to my boy Black Friday. When you go into a studio, and I watch the way Black Friday works with his rock band, it's like he has the guitar, they have the bass drum, they have this drum, and it's him on the microphone. And it's like, when you're doing rap, they might push a lever, they might push a turn a knob. With this, it's like, this person has to be over here. This bass player has to make sure he knows his key. That bass player over there has to make sure he knows his drum. Because if they don't, this whole thing is going under. This whole operation is going under. So tell me, like, not only just not being a rapper, you want to do techno, you want to do this. When you think about being a producer, what is that like? Like, do you want to produce in different genres too?
Hell yeah. Let me tell you about, like, I have a little, I have a piano at home and whatnot. Right. When I get bored, I'll just sit there and melodize and whatnot.
Wow.
And that's another thing, bro. Like, I never got taught how to play a piano. I taught myself.
Oh my God.
Like,
okay.
you know, like I'm not the best at it,
Right.
but when it comes to like actually melodizing and making melodies and whatnot, I'm a beast, bro. And I just sit there for hours and hours. And you know, my mom even walked by and I see her like, he's just like his father. Like I hear her sneak all the time.
Not
like,
again. You know what I'm saying?
Like, but you feel me? Yeah, like I'll sit there, I'll do a couple like regular. I'm like, man, this would sound nice on a beat, like
right.
You know, this on a techno, you know, some techno shit,
right.
this just sound real nice. Like,
okay.
So, you know, and that comes in a lot of things, like back into rap. Like, what I like to do is I like to take different aspects of music. So like I'll take like a flow from like I heard from a pop song and try to implement that into a
and
rap
just
song.
genre bend it.
Exactly. That's one of my favorite things.
And you know, I was talking about Black Friday on the last episode with this. I said the element of being different is the element of just trying shit. And it's just like, you know, the status quo nowadays is drill music. It's, you know, pain music. It's all that stuff. But I think when you're able to get into different worlds and try it, I think it sets you apart. And I also want to get to your co-conspirators and your features because I remember the first time listening to Peso Dollars. And it threw me off completely because I'm listening to Full Effect. And Full Effect is a rap group. Zoe, RP, Zoe Dardell. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite rappers out here. But you're going down the line, you got Leak, you got 60, shout out 60. You got Phil who's doing this thing, right? And they're rappers. You know what I'm saying? They get to it. They get busy. That's what they do. And then you get to Peso and it sounds like pop. Like it's like The Weeknd mixed with like pop music. It's like, where the hell did he come from?
You know what's crazy? A lot of people don't even know this, bro. That's my cousin. But you don't know, that's literally my blood cousin.
Oh man.
Like we got pictures together as kids. That's my blood cousin. Like, so for those who don't know, like I want to say back in like 2015, bro. His first song wasn't a rap song, nothing. It was a song called Waves.
And I think I heard that song.
It was a lot of people don't even he took it down quick. And it was like a pop song. Like it was like,
yeah, because it confused me the first time I heard him because somebody was playing Drank in the car with me. And I'm like, who the hell made a pop song about lean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, who is this guy? And they're like, he's from our neck of the woods. Like, he know you, like, shout out to my boy Sheed. He's like, he know your boy Sheed. He know this one. I'm like, he's from here? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, holy crap. Like, I didn't even know I didn't even know somebody from that, you know,
in this area
was doing that.
Yeah.
And it was so different. So tell me what it's been like working in the studio with him and getting that experience.
Let me tell you, he's another big inspiration in my life. Not just in life in general. Like, you know, before Machi, you know, Machi is he's actually my stepbrother. Right. So before him, like, Peso is always my big brother. Like, that was my big brother figure since forever. So seeing him get into music really was like, yo, I want to get into this too. And seeing him like, I remember one time, like, I want to say around like 2019, we was in his studio and he was like, yo, why you never want to, like, I got a studio here. Why you not? I'm like, bro, I just feel like I sound like shit, bro. And he said, nah, you gonna sit here and you gonna sing. You gonna sing right in front of me. Yeah. I'm like,
and that's all it takes is that one person. You know what I'm saying? That's all it really takes, man, is that one person to get behind you. And like I said, with that song, I remember the song name now. I think it's called Love in the Air. Yeah, between you and two. Yeah. It was like listening to something out of like Oculus. Like it didn't even sound like normal.
You know what's crazy about that song? I went to his studio. He was like, yo, I want you to record something in my studio. I'm like, all right. It was supposed to be just me. Like, but I was nervous, bro. Cause you know, it kind of fucked me up. Like I went in there and one of his boys was in there. I'm like, bro. You feel me? I'm like, bro. Like,
I don't want that, but okay.
You feel me? But I was like, all right. He was like, yo, bro, you want to do a song with me? I'm like, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, you know, we found the beat. He dropped this verse and I felt comfortable. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it, bro. And literally we made that song, bro. We was drunk. Like we was soft. And
and made a beautiful product. That's all I know. Shoot, because when I'm drunk, I'm lethargic. Y'all made a whole song off being drunk. Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of his success too, that must be cool to have watched him transcend, because that whole Full Effect group, they were up.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'll classify how I classify Full Effect. They were like R&WA. You know what I'm saying? In terms of Hartford.
Yeah.
Like, they were the biggest thing out of Hartford.
Oh,
I don't care what anybody says. Y'all can get mad at me in the comments, whatever. Full Effect will be remembered as the biggest group out of there. And to have him be a part of that, what was that like to see his success at such a young age?
You know, it was like, I was real humble, especially during like high school. Like,
Right.
And I was not talkative. Like I said, I was not talkative, nothing like that. I was the quiet kid.
Right.
So, once I graduated high school and whatnot, and I started opening up more.
Right.
People seeing my social media more and whatnot. They're like, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
That's his
it's
cousin.
different. Yeah.
Like, so I feel like it was kind of like, it was like, damn, like I don't want to, I don't want to say like it was like kind of being related to a celebrity, but it kind of felt like that.
Well,
like,
because, I remember people talking about Peso being at East Hartford and going to the Cornerstone, people mobbing for pics and stuff. Like, people want to be around him.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just like, yo, these dudes are like.
Not to cut you off. I kid you not, bro. I remember one time, there was a time where I used to go to this Walgreens right there on what is it, Main Street?
Yeah.
In the East, bro. Yo, I go in there and the dude was like, bro, I've never seen this dude a day in my life. He goes, "You're Peso Dollar's cousin?" I'm like, yeah. So I'm looking at, I'm like, yo, you good? Like, I'm like, it's like, yo, y'all doing y'all thing. I'm like, yo, bro, how does he even know that though? Like, it's like,
yeah, and it was so interesting to me to watch that, and then hear that was your cousin. I'm like, oh man, like, and to know how hard you work at music, to think you have that in your corner, and now hearing about your dad, man, it's really nothing to really realize that this is made for you. Like, is that what you feel like sometimes looking at those two?
Let me tell you something, bro. Like, when it comes to just music in general, like, music is a very emotional thing for me, bro.
Right.
I feel like there's nothing more like music is literally for me, bro.
Right.
I'm in my happiest is music. Like, if I'm listening to music, I'm happy. There's not a lot of things that could really make me truly happy.
Right.
When it comes to music though, like, that's
your place.
That shit warms my heart. Like, I can actually feel it. Like,
yeah.
So it's like, I know this shit is for me.
So,
like,
and listening to Peso, and more than likely when I get to listen to your father, I'm probably gonna hear the same thing. So this has been a passion of yours for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Shoot. So let's get on to your boy LV Flex. I love that dude, bro. I love the verses. I love the energy.
I love that boy, man. For real.
That energy is needed. It's needed. When you listen to the music, it's needed right now.
It's crazy. I've only known Flex. Let me tell you something. I've only known Flex for 2 years, bro.
Oh man.
I've seen him around because that's Peso. That's Peso man.
Right.
I've seen him around, but I mean, like, actually, no. I'm only known him for like 2 years. I met him in Peso's 24th birthday. I met him. And you know how we met? He looked at me. I think he said some shit like, "You look like El Chapo's son." Like, he was drunk as hell. Like, and we just like,
you just hit it off after that.
There. And I followed him on Instagram. He followed me one time, and then I remember I copped some weed off him and we was talking blah blah. And, Peso shot a music video at his crib.
Right.
Matter of fact, it was Jeanette McCarty.
Okay.
So he shot that video in there. He shot one scene in there. I'm not gonna say not the whole video, but he shot one scene in there. I pulled up. By then, me and Flex have been talking through Instagram and whatnot, whatever. Right. I was there. I pulled up. He was, Peso left. He was like, "Yo, you trying to record? You trying to make some shit?" I was like, "Shit, fuck it, yeah, let's go, let's do it." And that's when we came out with the song Codeine.
And that song, when I heard that song, I'm like, I've never heard two people compliment each other so well on a song.
That, bro.
It's like, and it's just like, because I hear you have the deep voice, but it's like a calming energy. With him, it just comes in and he's just on it.
Energetic
on it. So, I mean, tell me about that. Like, when y'all drop that song, y'all see it go crazy. is it like a conscious effort to be like, yo, we got to drop a video, we got to do this, or you want to get a tape in, or
we shot a video for that. It's coming very soon.
very
Very
That's
soon.
what I was waiting for.
It's in the works. It's coming very soon.
So is a tape coming? Can y'all let me on to that?
Man,
or?
listen. Right now, Flex has a lot. Like he has a lot of unfinished projects.
Okay.
Like bro. Let me tell you something. That man Flex work, bro.
Yeah,
that
you
man
can
Flex,
tell.
Let me tell you something. I ain't gonna say too much because
Right.
you know that's Flex.
Right.
But he got about like 5 projects that's just tucked.
Well, because his SoundCloud is always up.
Yeah.
It never ends. It's just like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I see it every day and I'm like, oh, this man's working.
Yeah, no, Flex. He works, man.
And now to see Instagram today, and it gets announced that he's performing at Warhol. And from what I've heard, there may be a special guest with him. So talk to me about that.
You know, it's crazy. He talked to me about it. Was it Friday? I was over there with him actually.
Right.
He was like, "Yo, I'm opening up for 1,000 Band Fun." You know,
Right.
I was like, "Yo." He already had the song list already made. He was like, "Yo, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I want you to be up there with me." I'm like, all right. He put codeine in there.
Oh man.
So, you know.
Is it let me tell you, let me ask you this, because I remember my first performance.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the North End and it's live and lit.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember they handed me the mic and I was speechless. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Because I remember those live and lits, the first ones, they had like hundreds of people in like this little room.
Okay.
And you're like, and you go out there and you step on this desk and it's like people like on you. And I'm like, so to think that, is this your first show?
Yeah.
So to think that you're doing this at the, what is
Webster.
it? Webster. In Hartford. You're on home base in Hartford. What does that feel like?
Man, listen. As soon as he put that song in that little playlist, I'm like, yo, goddamn.
It's real now. It's real.
Yeah. I'm like, yo, damn, I'm really about to perform. Like,
yeah.
I got that feeling in my stomach. I'm like, yo, yeah, it's about to happen.
Yeah, it's a real feeling, like, you know, like especially those stages, because those stages are so hard to get on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not easy getting on Oakdale. I remember when I performed in front of Pop Smoke at Toad's Place. And I remember the first time being behind there and you see all these artists and you see like the names. And like I'm standing on the same stage where Aerosmith once stood. Yeah. Where Kurt Cobain once stood. and you walk up those stairs and it's like inspiring to be like, as an artist, you're finally here. Yeah. Like you making it. You know what I'm saying? So tell me about, you know, this journey, all this hard work you put in to have this moment like this.
Man, I mean, I feel like really it's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
You know, like it feel like, but I ain't gonna lie, I feel like I dropped that, you know, that Leave Me song yesterday, bro.
It really does.
Like, so it's like, it feels like everything's just happening so fast. Like,
yeah, it moves quick.
Yeah, it does. You know, it's exciting. And I'm nervous. You know, because
that's plausible.
You know, but I'm actually very confident at the same time.
Yeah, man.
You know, I'm just praying everything
everything is gonna be good, man. It's just crazy to watch somebody, right? Especially from me, like being in the studio with you. It's crazy to watch how somebody can go one day from putting one song out to now. Just want to tell you, man, I'm super proud of you. You know, everything that you're doing right now is for a purpose. And I just want to let you know, I wish you nothing but success. So go ahead and plug all your stuff right now and let them know where you at.
I appreciate that, man. It's your boy 50 Chris with the 5 for the F. All right. So follow me on Instagram. It's 50 Chris. 5, it's the 5 for the F on all my social medias, YouTube, Apple Music, SoundCloud. It's all there. Feel me? And shout out my boy Austin, man, for having me here. Man.
Listen, man, this has been another episode of the Standout Podcast where everyone and anyone could be a standout. This right here, these 2 episodes today that I shot, I don't mind saying Foz, Chris, these 2 dudes are working. You need to tap in with them urgently and immediately. Not only is this a Black-owned business in Damier, but we also got 50 Chris shooting through the ranks, so you definitely need to support them. And with that, we out.
We out.